This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life.
Welcome to Dead Radio.
We're not doing that.
How did she come to have sex with a dead man?
Don't call me Radio Unit 91.
You're a dead man. You're a dead man!
He's God here in this radio station.
Place where the dead speak.
Rebel Radio!
I'm a fake? Yes. How'd you like to be dead?
You ever think about doing radio?
My team is dead!
But you're not crazy. You're me. And this is just radio.
By the powers vested in me by the Federal Communications Commission, I command you to get on the microphone in a serious manner and continue this broadcast.
All right.
Let's see how Facebook does this week.
Yeah. Full throttle. Ooh, sorry about that.
Still loading. And my computer's locked up.
Yay. Wouldn't be a proper show without technical difficulties to start us off. Welcome to Dead Radio Podcast number 228. Jeez.
Yeah. This is what, 3 in a row with just us?
Yeah. We got we've been short on guests as of late, with good reason.
Well, you got no excuse.
I've got zero excuse other than I'm shy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Adam got married, went away to another planet.
Iceland?
Iceland?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how they say it over there?
That's what the country's called. Iceland.
Iceland. So he went to Iceland, which is Iceland for the layperson.
Yeah.
And
or I think it might be Is or Is. It's, I don't know. It's kind of, I've heard it both ways.
Well, a normal person wouldn't go in October.
If you want to see Northern Lights, you probably fucking should.
That's the only time. Is that is it just
it's
like peak time?
Peak season before it's fucking crazy cold.
Oh, okay.
It goes all throughout the winter, but it needs to be cold and clear.
Okay.
And that you're not going to have that in the summer. In the summer, it's going to rain half the day and be beautiful the other half of the day.
Oh, okay.
So this is, if you want to see Northern Lights, this is when you have to go. And that kind of coincided with our wedding, so that made sense.
Yeah. So we're here to recap that. Adam was brought back a ton.
This isn't even a ton. I could have brought back twice this.
Well,
customs.
yeah, if you went through, well, we've talked about customs.
Yeah. Oh, they didn't even check.
Yeah, of course.
But the thing is you're allowed legally without paying. It's not even that much. It's 3%. 3% tax. So you have to bring your receipts, and they're going to charge you 3% on top of it. It needs to be cash or a personal check or a money order or whatever.
Right.
So, but they don't really check.
No,
You know,
absolutely
especially
not.
if you're an American citizen, you got no flags.
Oh, God. When they see you, they're like, go on through,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Welcome to Freedom Town.
Yeah, white guy. Go on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're allowed 1 liter of spirits, and spirits is any alcohol. So if you have a 1 liter bottle of beer, that's all you can bring.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's enough beer for
half
half an hour?
Yeah. Half of a half an hour. So yeah.
Aye, that sucks, man. Did you
It's
figure out why? Why they're so strict about booze
No. Well,
over there?
this is way less than that. That's per person. So these 2 bottles are mine. Right? And then we could probably have done like another bottle on top of these.
Oh, okay.
It's just so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we can get into that, but the liquor tax in Iceland is something like 40 or 50%.
Yeah.
So 50% of what you're paying, actually, it's more like 100% because like Reyka vodka, here it's $28 for a liter. It's 9,000 krona there, which is $72.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No wonder they're shipping it over here. They're probably moving a ton of it compared to there.
I mean, but they probably still pay their taxes to the Icelandic government for making it and exporting it and selling it.
So is it So are they drinkers over there at all?
I think that's probably part of why they had prohibition for a very long time. Like they started prohibition, and this all comes from I believe his name's pronounced Magnus or Magnus at RVK Brewing Company. He gave us the whole history of prohibition in Iceland.
Oh wow!
So
yeah, that's right. You made friends.
Yeah, the first day.
The first day,
yeah.
Made friends with the brewmaster.
So yeah, he's like pouring me beer straight out of the bright tank, not even kegged yet.
Oh, beautiful!
Yeah, it was awesome. So he was telling us that they, at the same time that the United States did prohibition, they instituted prohibition.
Oh,
right.
What a bunch of biters!
Well, they're heavily influenced by American culture because of World War II. All of our troops were staged there. It's halfway to Europe.
Oh fuck!
Yeah. So
yeah.
Back in the 30s and 40s,
a lot of Smiths and Johnsons.
So it was the same thing with World War I.
Magnus Jones.
Yeah. So it was the same thing with World War I. That was a staging area, right? But for the Navy, not for airplanes, because it's World War I.
Yeah.
So they were heavily influenced by that, and they made a lot of money off of the American government during this time. So they were a very, very poor country before the World Wars. So then they follow through with prohibition, and then World War II rolls around. We've already repealed prohibition, right? And all the Americans are like, we want beer. And the government said, okay. 4 weeks later, they had beer for the troops. So the government sponsored all these brewing on the base, but it could only happen on the base, and they only sell to Americans.
Okay.
Right? And so this goes on for a long time. They have beer on the base, blah, blah, blah. Then they start saying, okay, you can have wine. So they repeal the wine. Then they repeal liquor. But for some reason, they didn't repeal beer. And he was saying that it was because beer is associated with alcoholics. So it was just an optics thing. Beer was prohibited in Iceland until 1989.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. But they could do spirits. Spirits are fine.
Yeah, I think. But I think you couldn't make them on the island. Like you could only make.
Can't make much on that island.
I mean, they only make like two things. They do grow grains like a barley.
Sure.
You can grow potatoes there, and sheep. That's pretty much it.
And sheep dung.
Yeah.
Apparently
fucking
big as
cod.
Sheep dung and cod. Mm-mm.
So I forgot this is the Navy strength.
Fucking Navy strength. Every time I drink Perry's Tots, Perry's Tot, which
I grabbed this by accident.
Cheap
too.
as fuck.
Yeah. I grabbed this by accident too. I was gonna get the regular one, but I'm glad I did.
You get more bang for your buck for the Navy strength.
It wasn't that much more expensive either.
May I?
Yeah. So
before
I get into that, let me just because I couldn't. Okay, so my original plan was to ship beer home, which is illegal, right? I was just gonna do it because who the fuck's gonna know,
right?
Right. It's legal in the U.S., but not legal in Iceland because
Mm-hmm.
you're not paying, or no, you're paying all their taxes, but they just don't want you to do it. So now another thing is beer is also very, very expensive too, and you go in. The biggest thing is that all alcohol, except for beer, at breweries. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty strong, right?
Good Lord, that's got a little nip to it.
So
sorry.
You can buy beer at a brewery, and you can take it away, right? But everything's sold by the can. There's no case discounts.
Woo.
Yeah. So you go in there, and it's...
So it's like going to halftime for the first time every time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Holy shit.
So we got there. We were late coming in because we got lost in the airport, and everything's obviously in a different language. So we didn't go to duty free on our way in. And I was like, fuck it. We're going to lose out on $20. Who cares? You know, not a big deal. Now, in hindsight, when you go to Iceland, if you ever go, you want to buy the maximum they will allow you to take into the country at duty free at the airport. Because, like I was saying before, a bottle of Reka is like $70. It's more than double the price. But at the airport, you're not paying any of those taxes.
Yeah.
And you can bring a bottle in or a couple of bottles. So the first day we went to the liquor store, it was like, I mean, I bought maybe 3 6-packs worth of beer and a bottle of Reka, and it was almost $200.
Shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the scheme of things, it's when you go to a bar, it's not that much more expensive because they don't accept tips.
Uh-huh.
So you pay $10 for a beer, you got to figure that's an $8 beer. It's not that big a deal. But at the store, it's very expensive. And you also have to like know the exchange rate, or you don't really know what you're paying for shit.
Oh yeah, well yeah. In
It's
like,
super easy though.
But a euro, like a euro,
Mm-hmm.
you know, €1 is around $1. It's a little bit over. You know, like everything over there. If it's 35, I think it was just like I think euros were more.
The thing is, when
can't
you
remember.
went, it was the euro is probably worth more than
I
the
think
dollar.
it was like a little.
It might
extra.
still be that way.
It was like a little extra at the time. So like $35 was actually like $40.
Yeah.
American.
So here it's a Icelandic krona because they kept. Their,
I have one.
Yeah, they kept.
I got one as
some fucking asshole
useless
left it,
tips from garbage people. It's
Yeah.
actually that was the one that stopped it all because I was like, wow, this one's actually really cool. I'm glad they gave me this, and that's kind of stopped the train.
Of it? I could have sworn I took a picture of it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll figure it out. But
Did you keep any krona?
no, we didn't do any cash at all.
Oh no,
Yeah, it's too much of a pain in the ass.
really?
Yeah.
I had to have cash on me in Europe, just like because they don't take all types of credit cards.
They take it
certain places?
everywhere.
Oh my god.
Everywhere. And it's weird. It's
It's not
almost
like they don't take credit cards; they take specific European credit cards.
oh no,
and
this
not
is
American, not like Mastercard.
50% of the 25% of the tourists that go there are Americans, 25% are Europeans, and the rest are Asian. Which we can get into.
The Asians
Amy is racist now.
The Asians love their weird places. They
So,
love their World War II monuments.
Yeah. So what was I saying again?
Talking about
kronas. So
krona, yeah.
it's super easy. It's so like 20 or 2,000 krona, right? 2000. Just move the decimal point over 1 and remove 20%.
Oh, so it's 20 bucks.
So the exchange rate
20%
right now.
of the U.S. dollar.
I'm confusing you. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, you are.
So the exchange rate is 0.0081 US dollars per krona. So it's 81 thousandths of a percent. So if you look at 2,000 krona, pretend it's $20, subtract 20%.
Oh, which is 18.
$16.
16, 18, 20%, 18,
Yeah.
16.
$16.
$16.
So I told Amy, I was like, just if you see 3500, just assume it's $35 and it's going to be cheaper than that.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. But everything is incredibly expensive.
Oh, yeah?
Incredibly expensive.
Well, they know because they you know?
Everything's brought in.
Everything,
they don't make
everything's
anything there.
in. I wonder, is like... So, obviously, they spoke English mostly.
Everyone speaks English.
Yeah.
Every single person. Even like, I was flying the drone around. It was like on the road, like near some guy's farm, and he comes up and he starts speaking in Icelandic to me. I said, "Do you speak English?" And he said, "Oh yeah. Would you mind not flying that over the horses?" This dude was like 80.
Yeah.
You know, so they all speak English, and they all always have.
Were they cool and nice people?
Yeah, everybody was great.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's kind of like really nice people, but not annoyingly nice, like Canadians.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where they want to talk to you about everything.
Yeah,
you don't really get
yeah.
that.
Well, it's
Everyone's
too
just
fucking cold.
polite, except servers tend to not be very attentive or nice because they don't take tips.
Oh, well, yeah.
So you really got to work to get your
That's-
second round.
yeah,
because they don't
that's-
give a shit.
That was a thing in Europe that I found. Like waiters and waitresses, depending on where you were, they were kind of very aloof. In France, forget it.
Yeah.
In Paris, Jesus Christ, you look like when they sat you, it looked like you were shitting in their lunch. They didn't. They don't.
It's like retail. You don't want people to come in.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't think about that with like
Yeah.
the lack of tips.
Yeah.
If I wasn't forced to be nice to everybody,
You wouldn't be.
I don't think I don't think I could do it.
No.
Like if I knew that if my niceness didn't equal an extra $1 in my tip jar, I don't think I'd be as nice as.
Do it.
I have a hard
that's
time.
that's the thing. And another weird thing that took some getting used to is there's table service at places, but it's like there's no in between. There's no fucking like Billy Bob's there.
What do you mean?
There's no like there's places where you go up, you order at a counter, they call out a number like Crafted Cup.
Okay.
nicer places, but it's not table service. You got to go to the bar and get every beer on your own. And another thing that took some getting used to was every time you get a beer, you pay for it. There's no tabs.
Oh, you can't keep a tab.
Yeah. And it makes sense for a lot of these places. They're kind of big. And if they're not trying to build up a check, why would you? Yeah. You just close it out.
Huh.
So you just pay every time. And I'm sure that it's not like that everywhere, but it was kind of weird. So I have hundreds of transactions. So
yeah, those receipts must have been insane to look at.
But yeah, I mean, like that part of it wasn't that bad. Like when we went to the Lebowski bar.
Yeah.
Dude, that place was hilarious.
Oh, yeah?
It's great. It just got like murals on the wall. I'm sure none of it is licensed because they can't come after him in
the couple
different
pictures
country.
that you sent to me, it looked like the Applebee's or the Bennigan's or was it Shenanigans from the from the movies.
Yeah,
it looked like Shenanigans just with all Lebowski shit on the walls.
Yeah. It was good though. I mean, they had they have a whole menu of White Russians.
Side note, the nihilists from the really tall German one. Somebody we were talking about the devil the other day. Excuse me. The devil the other day. I'm like, when I think of the devil, I think of two people: Tim Curry in Legend and the nihilist in playing the devil in Constantine in the white suit with the tar. Those like whenever somebody says the devil, those two images hit my brain first. Sorry, real side note. Sorry.
So it was just Amy. Like at one point, Amy's like, "Why is there a little sticker on the side of the bar? Like, it's like." Like the no public urination thing, and it's got like the slash through it, and it's a dude taking a piss.
It's like low. It's like waist high on the bar, like stuck to the side.
Yeah, and she was like, "Why is that on there?" I was like, "Look at the side of the bar. They had like upholstered a carpet on the bar, and that was the backslash to the bar." Yeah.
Oh, people were just pissing on it.
Probably not, but it's like a funny aside. But it was good, and Amy got this drink called the Tree Hugger. And it was a soy milk White Russian with hazelnut.
Ooh.
It's delicious.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
You can catch me dead drinking a real Russian with fucking real milk in it.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Yeah.
Just
I got a regular one.
I think of milk and alcohol sloshing together in your stomach is just not a good look.
As long as you just don't add citrus, you're fine.
Yeah. What is that called? A cement mixer?
Yeah, it's curdling inside your guts. Anyway, we got very disjointed here. Should we start?
It's fine.
Let's do a what are you drinking?
Yeah, why not?
And then I'll start at the beginning, and then we'll pepper in other stuff. It's what are you drinking?
So we already dipped into it.
Yeah, this was from our last day.
So who is this?
Second to last.
Is that
day.
an R or an I or
so,
what?
Vor.
Vor.
So that's actually the same distillery as this one.
Floki.
So they're Eimwerk Distillery. So if you stay in Iceland, they're only open. They only do tours, right? So they're not just open. You can't just walk in, right? So they do tours between 4 and 5. You have to make an appointment. They have room for maybe 15 people. And it wasn't that much. It was like 3,000 kronas, so that's $24. And you get to try everything that they make.
Jesus.
Yeah. And he poured a good, however much you wanted, pretty much. If you wanted to do 12 shots, he was going to give you that much. I was driving, so I didn't. But, so we went down the line. We tried everything. This was probably my favorite. I actually liked the regular gin a little bit better than this one, only because it wasn't as strong. And theirs, I think, is 46 proof is their regular gin. But, I mean, you throw a cube in and it's the same thing.
This is 57% alcohol. So
I fucking forgot to bring the book with everything in it. It's got all the... I'm going to pull up their website so I could talk to you about what's in it.
So, this is their 100% Icelandic... Icelandic barley, wild juniper berries, and crystal clear water from Iceland. And it's Navy strength, so so it's 114%.
Yes.
It's like everything, anything over 50 something is Navy strength.
Yep.
And I prefer Navy strength because it's got a zip. This fucker's got a lot of zip.
Yeah. It's also pot still gin, so
you can taste the pot stillness.
Yeah.
Of it.
So they.
Oh, because it has the ingredients.
Pot still gin. Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up.
Well, I'll tell you what it tastes like. It tastes like pot still gin.
Mm-hmm.
It's super strong. You can actually taste the barley. Like I taste wheat.
Yeah. So a
and-
lot of that is because obviously Iceland has a very short growing season. So your grain doesn't have as much sugar in it.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to use more grain, more pounds of grain per ounce of per gallon of water, or liter of water in this case. Because you have less sugar. So you get more oils coming off of the husk of the grain and going into that. That's why it tastes like that.
This shit tastes like a grain silo smells. You know what I mean? Like, have you been close to like bags and bags and bags of wheat or any kind of grain?
Yeah.
That's what it smells like.
Yeah.
Or it tastes like. It's like really strong, really earthy, like just straight up malt barley.
What else are you getting from this? I want to see if you can guess the herbs. Obviously juniper.
Obviously. There's some sort of floral something in there that's not. I don't know. It's hard to get past all that wheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll read you the bill here. So
I usually go, yes, that's what I was tasting because I can never put it to words.
I think I know which one it's going to be. So juniper berries, obviously, rhubarb, because there's no citrus.
Oh, that's interesting.
There's no citrus on the whole island.
I've never actually sat and eaten a piece of rhubarb.
But in a pie.
In a pie, sure.
Yeah, it has a lemon. It has a lemon
in sugar.
Has a lemony flavor.
Okay.
Yeah. Crowberries, which is like a wild blueberry. They're very tart. They're very small.
Okay.
Angelica root.
That's probably what I'm tasting.
So that's the anise flavor.
That's a typical. That's a typical flavor.
Birch leaves.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Birch leaves.
Creeping thyme. You ever had that before?
No.
It's like a very bitter, like wild thyme. It actually grows like a vine of stuff. Iceland moss, kale, and sweet kelp.
Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
That's why it tastes so damn like earthy.
Yeah.
Earthy
Well,
is
he
like
said
the best
this is,
word I can use.
This
for it.
final concoction is like number 250.
Oh, they tried it a lot.
Yeah, so they did a ton of small batches. I think they were home distilling for a very long time too.
What was their? I mean, it's good. It's a. This is the advanced class in gin drinking. Like, you got to really like gin because it's got. Yeah, all that bark.
Well, wait, that's why I had you try this one first. Because wait till you try the barrel aged one.
So this they use. Are they using different? Herbs and everything for each different one? Do you know?
No, it's all the same recipe. It's all worked out now. It's all the same.
Oh, so this is what you get.
Yep. So they have the Navy strength and then the regular one.
Got some fucking teeth. Holy shit.
So they've got the Navy strength. They've got the regular one. Like I said, I bought the Navy strength by accident. I wasn't going to get that one. I was going to get the regular one.
Yeah.
So anyway, going back to their stuff, they have a whole line of things. And I could not get everything because if you were to buy one bottle of every single one, not only would you not be able to get through customs, but it would be well over $1,000.
Icelandic Distillery.
I'm
trying to. It would not be what? Say that.
It would be well over $1,000 if you got everything from them, like a full bottle of everything.
Jesus.
They got
so they're stuff then.
Yeah, they. This is. I told you about it, but. I'll explain it and tell you my thoughts, being that I did not buy it.
Okay.
Because I didn't like it enough to spend the money on it.
Okay.
So they have these like taster packs. Comes with 6 of these. It was 4,000 kronas, so $36. Totally reasonable, I think, for 6 tasters.
Yeah.
But the one with the one that I'm about to talk about. So this one here is the Icelandic Young Malt. This is their just standard whiskey. It's 3-year age single malt whiskey. It's very, very similar to an Irish whiskey. So we will try this tonight too. And then what is that one? Oh, that's the Brennivin. We'll get to that later. We want to do that towards the last one.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize this is a barrel-aged one, too, so you can keep that because we're going to try it out of this.
Oh, this same?
Yeah.
These the same?
Yeah, I didn't realize. Yeah, because it came with 6 of them. It came with 2 Brennivin, 2 Young Malt, and one of each of the gins.
Okay.
And I gave the regular gin to Steven. I would have given him the barrel
Steven.
one had I realized. But doesn't matter. It's all good stuff. So they have their gins, which obviously they started making gins so they could start making money. These guys are not at a loss for money, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
They own like a fucking robotics company.
Oh, cool.
Like, you know the robot arms that build shit in factories? They make those.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
like the robot arm in Inner Space when he's trying to get the
sure. Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like
Martin
that.
Short. Perfect.
So so they've got the young malt, which we'll try in a little while, and then they've got the young malt sheep dung smoked reserve.
Yeah. So
Now-
you kept there was a lot of smoked sheep dung things over there.
Yeah, and the reason for that is there are no
Not a lot.
trees. There's no trees.
There's no fucking trees. So you gotta
And
burn
all
something.
the trees that are there are softwood. There are no hardwood trees.
How the fuck did they survive? How did they survive up there?
Birch. Everything's built out of birch. But you can't smoke anything with birch because it's so resiny. Same thing with pine. So all of like Vikings and shit, all their ships were built out of pine. So
Okay.
yeah. So that was fine. It worked great. Pine trees grow quickly. They don't need a lot of, they don't have a growing season because they grow all year round. So everything's built out of pine, and then birch was what you burned to stay alive. So
Shit.
when
Birch
they
is a
would
good light.
Yeah.
It lights up nice.
Yeah, so what he was saying, the reason that they thought of this is because you don't have peat. Normally, a European whiskey is smoked with peat, but they don't have peat there. So
sheep shit.
So they were saying that because you couldn't firewood was at such a premium, you wouldn't cook a whole fucking sheep over a spit. You would boil it and you'd make soup, which we had, and it was fucking delicious. Or you would smoke it using sheep's dung because it was plentiful. It's just dried grass.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
not
been inside the animal and passed through its digestive
But
tract.
the interesting part is that the enzymes and everything add to the flavor of these things, right? So we tried it. It tasted like a nice Johnny Walker Black or something like that. It didn't taste weird. It's just not my style, so I was not going to pay a premium just to bring that home.
I bet you Brooke would enjoy it.
Probably.
'Cause she's a big.
A bottle
she's
like
big
this is
Scotch drinker.
95 American. Yeah. Yeah.
What's weed like there?
Probably non-existent.
Yeah. A bunch of fucking Mormons up there. Now I don't want to go.
No, I mean, I would absolutely recommend you go.
Yeah.
So
I
so I
see
tried
the
all that.
Scandinavian countries.
And yeah, so that was Saturday. That was one of the last things that we did was go there. But I had a ton of beer too. I could talk about that, but I couldn't bring any of it home because, like I was saying, I was going to mail a bunch home.
Yeah.
But the entire country is pretty much under construction. It's crazy. Like they're kind of in this economic boom right now. So there's a lot of new construction, and everything is not updated on Google Maps. So I was trying to find DHL because it's the only international shipper that's there. We tried 3 or 4 separate occasions to just go to one and get a fucking cardboard box to mail shit back, and we couldn't find one. We just couldn't find one. And I was just tired of wasting a half a day on it.
We had a hard time finding them too.
Yeah.
They're in the weirdest places. Like we found them, but it was just like, oh, you got to go to the other end of the town. You got to go down this back alley, and it's there.
Yeah,
And
we
you're
had to
like,
ask. We had to ask a local for
cobblestone
directions.
streets. I'm like, don't you ship shit out of here? How
Yeah.
the fuck do trucks get in here and get your shit?
Yeah. So
really
I decided, it was going to be expensive, especially to buy more beer. We're talking. I'm going to ship back $100 worth of beer.
Oh my god, it would
Right?
have been a lot.
No, $100 worth of beer is not a lot of beer, but it would have weighed 15 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That probably would have been $100 to ship it, and I would have had to put insurance on it.
Yep.
And tracking and all that shit.
It just
So it's like it's not worth $200 to give away beer. I'm not doing that.
yeah.
So the stuff we bought the first day, that was just what I drank throughout the week instead of mailing it back. And then after that, I just had to do one more run. And I almost made it. I left one beer in the Airbnb. And I was like, this is like $5. But it was like 4 a.m. We were driving to the airport, so I wasn't going to drink it. So So yeah, so I had to completely nix that. But the first place that we went was RVK Brewing Company, and they're new, fairly new. I think he said they've been open about a year.
Okay.
But pretty legitimate operation. A lot of cool stuff.
What's RVK then?
Reykjavik.
Okay.
That NYC is New York City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, RVK is
That's
Reykjavik.
the local lingo?
Yeah, like on a map.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or like the airport code would be RVK.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So their RVK Brewing Company went in there. The place, it was like they had just opened like 5 minutes before it because we seriously we couldn't check into the Airbnb until 3:00, but we got in at I think 7 in the morning.
Yeah,
I hadn't slept
in Paris, man.
at all.
It was terrible.
Yeah, I didn't sleep at all.
We spent half the day trying to find a place to put all of our luggage.
Yeah.
And once we did that, we were free to move around.
We had a car, so that was good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we seriously went. We found where the Airbnb was. So we're like, cool. Okay, now we need to find a supermarket. Shit, nothing's open till 11 because it was Sunday, right? So then I was like, all right, so the supermarket opens at 11. We'll go food shopping. Then we'll go to RVK Brewing Company, one of the places that I looked up that's right in Reykjavik.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't open until, I think, 1 or something like that. So we seriously drove to the supermarket and slept in the parking lot for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And then went food shopping. By the way, everything is like processed food there pretty much.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see like an organic anything anywhere the whole time I was there.
It's all got to get brought in.
Yeah. So it was like a lot of frozen pizza and ramen noodles this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Just to save money. I mean, if we went out to eat every night, it would have been awesome, but
Sure,
it would cost
sure,
an
sure.
extra $3,000.
No. We ate in
Yeah.
a lot. We mostly got like sausages, but we could get fresh cheese, fresh vegetables, fresh,
you
this,
couldn't,
this, fresh
you can't really get that here.
Wow.
So, like we got like a bag of spinach and it was kind of shitty and it was really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, fuck it. We'll just pig out for a week and then be done with it.
Wow.
We just ate like a lot of peanut butter and jelly and shit. But yeah, being gluten-free or vegetarian, kind of tough. A lot of restaurants cater to it, but not that I could. You would really need to do a lot more research as far as supermarkets
Yeah.
go. So anyway, so we went shopping. We just bought a bunch of stuff like fucking macaroni and cheese and peanut butter and jelly and ramen and shit just to get through a day or two. Then we went over to RVK. We got there right when they opened. Start talking to Magnus. I'm just going to say it with the American accent because I'm probably pronouncing it wrong either way.
Sure. It's a fucking tough language.
Yeah. So, but it's MAGNU, but with the
umlaut,
not an umlaut, a dash.
Oh.
And then an S. So I think he said it was Magnus.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
Jesus.
Yeah. Because it's Germanic. It's like originally based on like a Norwegian dialect.
Yeah.
But from like 600 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's their own language. It's totally different. So anyway, so he starts telling us about their story, what they were doing. He, do you have anything for takeaway? Because I'll buy all of it. Because
takeaway, you're already stuck on their lingo.
And then another thing was we were like, well, we got to find the liquor store because we didn't go through duty free. And then I'm looking. Now they're all closed on Sundays. All closed on Sundays.
Oh wow!
So I was like, well, now we got to figure out something. Right. Luckily, Amy didn't drink heavily on the plane, so we still had all the airline bottles that I brought for her. So we were fine the first night. But so we go to RVK. I was like, do you have anything that, like, are we allowed to buy stuff and take it out? And he said, yeah, as long as it's in a sealed container. He's like, I can fill a bottle from the keg and just charge you per ounce. We could do that, but I didn't have growlers or anything with me. So he seriously had 4 cans that I bought, and it was like a lime rice lager. Imagine like a good Corona with lime. Like, imagine if that was good.
That's probably what it was.
But
it's like, let's make a Bud Light with a lime in it.
But it was almost 100% sorghum, so there's no gluten in it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. He said there's just enough wheat in there to make it legal for me to call it.
Fuck.
Yeah. So
These
I was gonna.
motherfuckers are all doing that now.
Yeah. So and he said
Cocksuckers.
they did. I think he said that it's like gluten removed, like omission.
Yeah.
That's what they would call it. So you probably could have tried that if I could have gotten it home, but I drank them all. And then he gave me this other one. It was a chocolate pastry stout. And like I was just like, oh, how much is that? And he said it's 270 krona, which is like $23.
Just hold out your hand with a bunch
So
of money.
no,
in
I
it.
think he said it was 30 something. So I think it was $27 US dollars.
Oof.
I was like, I'm gonna skip that one. And then we're talking, and I told him about the podcast, gave him a sticker, and then I went out to the car to get stickers, and he starts talking to Amy, and she says that we're from New York, and he said, oh, I'm going to be in Albany next month, right?
Magnus is checking in.
Oh yeah, is he?
Yeah. Hi, Magnus. Is it Magnus or Magnese? We're
Yeah.
trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Whenever you hear this, because we're on a bit of a delay, give us the like phonetic pronunciation of your name so that we're not messing it up.
And also, Joe, tipping is not customary. Mike, we knew you would be.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So so if I might be getting it wrong on the name of that stout, but basically he started talking to Amy, and I was like, oh, you should come on the show. It's like an hour and a half drive.
Yeah.
Like if you got a rental car, come down. So maybe he'll come on. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But he was just, and then as we're leaving, he's just like, here, just take it. So he just gave it to me to drink it on the show. But being that I didn't ship anything home, I drank it, and it was fucking great. So good. I spent like an hour trying to just nurse it, but it was like super chocolatey, super like imperial stout type sweet. Really, really good. It tasted like a fucking pastry. It was amazing. And then we had the I don't remember if they gave it a name. It didn't have a name when he gave it to me, but it was like a donut pale ale. And it was like a collaboration with a place called Le Coq. Yeah. COCK. That place was awesome. They had bingo, burgers.
Now, was it a French place?
Not really. No.
What does that mean in Icelandic?
It was cock with a K.
L-E space C-O-K?
K-O-C-K.
K-O-C. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great. It was a good spot. We went there.
What was it? A restaurant?
It's like a bar restaurant, but it's kind of like imagine if like Dark Side Records was a bar.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it like graphic art all over the walls, like kind of comic booky stuff, board games everywhere. Like it had kind of a nightclub
Is
look
it pronounced Lecoq?
Le Coq. Yeah.
Jesus. All right.
But the fucking food was phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah. That's another funny thing. It's like I was like, I want to try something Icelandic, but I think they're really just about burgers and fries.
They like from what I've heard about Iceland
They're
is
just
that
like, no, our food sucks. Don't eat
yeah,
that.
it's pretty much just like, man, we ate that so we wouldn't die.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of fish. It's like fish stews and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
But
I
we
see.
I'd
I'd be in my
yeah.
glory. I love.
But
seafood,
there wasn't
so.
a ton of it.
Yeah.
There were places that still serve whale though.
I definitely would
I know
have
you
eaten
would.
whale.
Yeah.
I would have eaten whale with a smile on my face. Fuck the whales. I'm on vacation.
You can eat puffin too.
I would have eaten puffin.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we didn't do that,
If it-
but
If it squawks, I'll eat.
Icelandic hot dogs, dude. Holy shit. So
Good?
fucking good.
Really?
So best hot dog I've ever had.
Was it
I
like
had
a
there.
sheep dog?
Yeah, it was like a lamb dog.
Mutton dog?
Yeah, lamb dog.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was lamb and beef.
Were they skinny?
No, it was like a
regular one?
standard hot dogs, about that long. But we went to kind of like a fancy like gastropub place, and it had like some kind of chipotle aioli stuff, fried onions, pork belly. And then it was served with like these really awesome pretzel chips with like a chipotle mayonnaise.
Jesus.
No, not pretzel chips, like the waffle cut
Yeah,
fries.
yeah. Waffle fries.
Yeah. And that was awesome. And that was like $18 probably for that meal.
So
It was
they're
fucking
burger and
awesome.
fries country.
From what I could tell, at least in Reykjavik.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of places where it's like Icelandic street food, and it's mostly soup.
Mm.
So, but we had like that. I sent you a picture of it. It's like a beef and lamb soup with cumin in a bread bowl.
Yeah.
So fucking good. That was I think that was our first meal out.
Yeah, they're probably pretty awesome at soups. I wonder what it's like there in the winter, man. In their winter, Jesus.
Well, there's probably
Christ.
nobody in Reykjavik aside from people that live there. What? The funny thing is, like, the whole city is just under construction all the time because they're like, guys, we got 3 weeks before we have to stop working.
Like Boston.
Yeah, but the funniest thing is, the corner that our Airbnb was on, the road was closed for the first like 3 days because they were completely redoing the sidewalk, and then all of a sudden it was just everything was gone and everything was done. It was like that project in fucking Poughkeepsie would have taken 4 months.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they probably got.
But I'm thinking,
asses.
yeah, but it seems like all this is very boring. But all the sidewalks are not concrete because obviously it's going to be negative 20.
Yeah.
So everything is just like item 4, but the item 4 is black because it's fucking volcanic rock.
Yeah.
And then just pavers.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so they probably have to redo every sidewalk every year.
That's brutal.
Yeah, but it was cool. It was very windy. The first 3 days, dude, was fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
It was like 55 degrees and sunny.
Let's taste more of this stuff here.
Yeah.
What's next?
I think you should try the Brennivin.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's
I want the
Icelandic schnapps. So this is a schnapps made with caraway seeds.
And this is like the national drink? That's plenty.
You'd be familiar with this as something called aquavit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I assumed it was.
Same thing, pretty much. So
now, what's aquavit? That's a Eastern Europe.
Yeah, that's just like the Russian version of this. So, well, they have an aquavit as well. Well, no, aquavit, also called Brennivin in Iceland, has a dominant flavor of caraway seeds and is the traditional spirit of Iceland.
This is great.
Right?
I love this.
It smells like fucking sourdough rye.
Yeah, it tastes like sourdough rye, too. This is awesome. I could drink a gallon of this
Well,
shit.
you got this one. You can keep that. I have one at home. And then we have, this is like the cheap stuff that everybody drinks.
Oh, okay.
So this is just Brennivin aquavit produced by Olgeron Egil Skaragrimsson.
Are you taking hacks at this?
Huh?
At the pronunciation?
Oh, I try.
Did you
Dude,
pick up some?
there are words that are this fucking long.
Yeah.
It's just impossible.
And they got like strange letters for different sounds and different like consonants.
Yeah,
Pronounced
and like
different.
A's and E's are like mixed together, and then that means a different thing.
Nobody
really expects you to try. There's T-shirts that say, "What part of Florganarska do you not understand?" And it's a word like this fucking long, like nipple to nipple on your chest. Oh man, yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. But this
so
stuff is great because it's a little perfumey and it's got a little bit of viscousness to it. It's not like a typical schnapps where it coats your tongue.
So this is the same process that they use. Their process is interesting too. I could talk about that because you know how me and Chad do a gin basket, which is the most traditional way to do it.
Wow.
But they're doing a regular pot still. So they have like a 4-stage process for their gin. Mm-hmm. Or no, it's a 3-stage process. So the first stage, they have these custom stills that they built, and they're all computer controlled, and they're made out of old milk containers.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like 300-gallon things. And they have a heater in the bottom, and that heats it up to whatever it is in centigrade, but it's 173 degrees, and that boils off some water and the spirit, and they wind up with a 23% alcohol mixture. Then that mixture goes into their pot still, which is like 4 million krona. It's from some fucking German company. But it's all automatic. It's all electric. It automatically separates the heads, hearts, and tails. It's crazy. It's a great machine, but, that's like $3.4 million or something like that.
Jesus Christ.
So they do that, and then they get their base spirit, which is basically their whiskey, right? So that's a double distillation. And then they take that and then they put it in a big barrel, add all of the herbs, and then let it sit. So they basically tincture it and then they distill it again. So it's a little bit different from the process that I'm familiar with.
What is schnapps then?
Schnapps?
Like what's
it's
considered
just a flavored fucking alcohol that's like a liqueur. You gonna look it up?
Yeah, I'm curious because I know like it's I know it's big in Germany, they love their schnapps, and it's like they do those for shooters. They don't do like hard whiskeys or hard liquor for shooters. They like to shoot schnapps. It's a strong. It just says a strong alcoholic drink resembling gin and often flavored with fruit. So it's kind of like, I guess
It's
it's
a
the
gin
same,
without juniper.
It's the same process, just without
Without the juniper.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
May take several forms, including distilled fruit brandies, herbal liqueurs, infusions, flavored liqueurs. Yeah, so it could be any strength. Yeah, it's just
So I guess it's
liquor made like a
so
gin.
it's
without
a
juniper.
flavored probably pot distilled whatever.
Like vodka.
Yeah, because I mean vodka in order to turn it into a gin, you just have to add junipers to it.
Yeah,
Juniper berries.
junipers.
Yeah. Yeah, whole bush.
Full bush. Cool. I want. Can we? What's
we can
next?
try whatever the fuck you want.
I want to try this.
So
here.
everything here. Why don't we do the whiskey real quick?
All right, let's do the whiskey.
Because then we'll be done with Imverk.
Imverk.
So
Distilling.
and these I haven't had any of these. Here's another aquavit.
Oh my god.
These are all little bottles.
Oh, is this the all right? Reykjavik. This is the vodka. Yeah.
No, that's an aquavit.
No. This is the same
Reka,
company.
Reka is a different company. There's a bunch of distilleries. We didn't get a chance to go to these guys. We just didn't have time.
Huh.
But I wanted to pick this up because this is a crowberry liqueur. So I want to make a cocktail with crowberry and gin.
Oh, that reminds me. I have some cocktail mixer in the fridge there. Did you see it?
What is it?
Check it out. It's good for gin. I didn't want you to go in full Icelandic on me.
Mountain Dew Liberty Brew.
Yeah. 50 different flavors. Read the label.
The fuck? 50 flavors in one. That's just one flavor, guys.
In one bottle, they mean.
That's disgusting.
So the story.
I'm not mixing any of this.
The story behind that is I went to the store because there's this thing called Voodoo out. So it's Mountain Dew Voodoo. DEW.
Yeah.
And it's clear and it's a mystery flavor. So I went out to get it for the show, like as a gag.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find it. It's not out yet in the gas stations near me. So, but I did find this that I didn't know about. It's a new flavor. It's called Liberty Brew, and it's a Mountain Dew flavor. It's blue, and they got a red top. It's very patriotic. I was like, well, this is good. Red and blue Iceland, red, white
try
and
it,
blue
but it's
America.
I'm not mixing any of this alcohol with it. It feels like it's flat, too.
It does. I wanted a taste of it. It's a very rich.
It's not flat. It looks like the fucking AdBlue diesel additive you got to put in a Mercedes. Holy shit, that's so sweet.
It does taste like everything.
Yeah, it's like blueberry lemon lime fruit punch purple. That's disgusting.
It's so terrible, right? I figured, what the hell? Now that your taste buds have been completely obliterated. Hold on, let me try this.
Oh wait,
barrel-aged.
we have the barrel. No, this is the young malt whiskey, and then we have the barrel aged gin.
Okay.
So here, before you do the whiskey,
Okay.
do you have another glass to try this?
Yeah.
Ooh. That
Yeah, it's
Brenneman's
that
good,
Navy
man,
strength.
but
Yeah.
no,
Oh, the
that's
Brenneman?
yeah. It's really good. It's just you don't really want to knock it back. You want to just sip it.
Ooh,
Is that the whiskey?
that whiskey's weird. You know, a lot of their alcohols have that pot still taste.
Yeah, it's all done in the same still.
The whiskey's good. I wouldn't go nuts.
That's why I didn't.
I'm not gonna like.
That's why I didn't buy a big one.
Dancing through the street. I love their label, but
It's named after the guy who first settled Iceland. Raven Floki.
Yeah.
You knew that?
You've never seen Vikings?
No, I've never
The
watched
show?
that show. No. Looks
To be
terrible.
honest, I mean, it was good for the first couple seasons, and then it kind of went off the rails. But it's all based off of Norse mythology about Ragnar Lothbrok, and the sons that basically walked across fucking England, beating the shit out of everybody. And one of the characters in the show, his name is Floki. He ends up on Iceland. You don't know it's Iceland in the show.
Yeah.
But I was just like, this is silly. And I looked
I looked it up, and three ravens.
Yeah, all that
Yeah.
stuff is in there. Yeah, he sees he thinks it's the he thought it was the Isle of the Gods, and he thought that the gods lived there. But I was just like,
look
at
of
this.
volcanic activity.
Well, it's like the show is funny because I was just like, they never invaded Paris, and I looked it up, and I'm like, oh shit, they might have invaded Paris.
Yeah. They also discovered the New World.
And then I was like, and then I looked it up again. Floki never went to Iceland. Holy shit! A guy named Floki went to Iceland. Like, it's really weird because it is the History Channel.
Yeah, and then one of his buddies disappeared for a while, and as they were about to mount a party to go look for him, he landed back on Iceland with a shit ton of grapes. He's like, I found this island. It's a few thousand miles that way. You want to go? And they fucking sailed to Canada to make wine.
I didn't get that far yet. They're still struggling on the
Newfoundland is Vinland.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So Christopher Columbus is a cunt. He did not discover the United States. The
Powerful Viking.
That was the thing. That lady with the sword under her boob. That was that story. The Native Americans killed like her husband or like her whole party, and she just literally pulled her tit out and went to cut it off in front of them to freak them out, and did. And then they ran away. They thought it was a bad omen because this pregnant white lady was about to cut her boob off in front of them. Look it up, people. It's a true story. I saw it in a wax museum.
Oh, yeah. It's like, this wax museum's weird. I'm like, I see nothing wrong with it. It's just a woman with her tit out with this wild look in her face and a sword under it.
Yeah, it was fucking
Vikings,
weird.
the fucking
Okay, so back to Iceland.
The Nords.
I would highly recommend checking that museum out. I'll get you the name of it.
And the Phallic Museum.
Oh yeah,
We got to talk about that one too. It's just dicks.
Yeah,
It sounds like right up my alley.
I was waiting for it to come up.
I'm trying to find. Hold on. With a. Oh, this is amazing! This is amazing! All right, so it's Dick and Balls bottle opener from Iceland, the Icelandic Phallological Museum. If anybody's watching the YouTube, I mean, there we go.
Yeah, it's a bottle opener. So this fucking
is great. Another dick for the studio.
Yeah,
People.
Yeah, well, because we've been using a wine
wrong
key to fucking open beers on here for years. That just does not work. So before we get into that, the Viking Museum that I was just talking about that I highly, highly recommend is the Saga Museum. They're like, it's not really a wax museum. They're like latex, but super, super realistic. And it's got like an audio tour, gives you a whole history of the Vikings. Very, very cool and not expensive. And they're like, would you like a beer while you're on your tour?
Wow.
Yes, please. Yeah. I mean, you had to pay for it, but
sure. But
I mean, you're gonna go to a museum and they just like offer you beers. Yeah.
If the National History Museum was like, here's a suggested donation. Also, you can have wine.
Here's a glass of
Here's
fucking
a glass
red
of wine
wine
or a glass of beer. I would,
Yeah, it'd be great. So, what do you think? Did you try?
You
just had the whiskey.
I just had the whiskey.
And you didn't care for it all that much?
It's not that I don't think it's bad. It's just not. I will say this: Icelanders make better gin.
Yeah. So
far.
Another thing is this is a 3-year.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, they have an older one. I don't remember. Maybe 6 years. I'm not sure. But I actually like this one better. But I'm not a single malt guy. I'm a bourbon guy.
Yeah.
I'm just no matter what you do to this, no matter how perfect you make it, I'm always going to prefer like a Bulliet bourbon.
Right. I'm the same.
Yeah.
I'm usually a sweeter.
But I mean,
whiskeys.
they can't grow corn there.
Yeah.
So
this is a hand carved piece of wood,
Yeah.
or this is a piece of carved wood
Yeah.
made into a dick with really small balls.
Yeah. I wanted to get the pizza cutter,
Really
but it was a lot more expensive.
A stout dick with small balls.
Yeah, it's not real long, but it's thick.
Yeah, it's got some girth. All right,
So,
so this is the barrel-aged Icelandic gin.
Yeah. So this is basically the same gin that you just had, except for this is 47%, and it's finished in a new American white oak barrel.
Stealing from us. Ooh,
It's good, right?
that's really good.
Yeah, this is the favorite. So you got another one of those that you can keep.
Oh
That little one
my, that one's good. That's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, this is my favorite.
Because it tones down that kind of harsh earthiness with the sweetness
It's the
of
same,
of the char,
Like
of the barrel.
what Chad does, he charcoal filters straight out of the still.
Mhm.
Accomplishes basically the same thing. It cuts out those congener type pot still flavors.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's a good gin.
So, and also if you mix that with tonic. Oh, and by the way, we get to the tasting, and he's like, "Would everyone like a gin and tonic?" And he just handed everyone a gin and tonic. It was awesome.
That's how you host.
So
You got to host.
But if you take that and do it in with some pretty high quality tonic water, a little bit of lime, tastes a lot like Chad's gin.
Huh.
Yeah. So I think it's just the similar processes.
Oh, we need to make a quick, I guess a
Quick
quick
aside.
shout out, quick aside to King's Court Brewing. Did you see that?
What?
Silver medal
Oh yeah.
at the Great American Beer Festival.
Yeah.
And for their, what is it, their Imperial Red IPA, Frogs on Possum or something?
Yeah, I don't know. They keep changing names of things.
So goddamn weird with their fucking names.
Well, it's because every beer that they make is like a little bit different.
I know.
They tweak everything every time.
No, I
'Cause
know. I know what
red
they're
a-
doing.
The red ale that I remember that's in that series is the Frogs on Bikes.
Yeah. This is Frogs on Possum, it's called. Fucking nightmare. Just a nightmare naming these things. But, yeah, good for them. They won silver medal for that. So I just wanted, it just popped in my head. But, yeah, this is, I like this. This is delicious.
Yeah.
I'm curious what their regular one tastes like.
It tastes like that. Just put an ice cube in it for a little while.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing. There's just more alcohol in the bottle.
Yeah.
Seriously, well, like
This
when
one's
we're
way
kind
more
of when we're
drinkable.
kind of done with the tasting, just add some water to that, and you'll see. Because like I said, I didn't mean to buy this one, but I'm not upset about it.
Oh,
But-
yeah, that one's like,
Yeah, really good, right?
that one's like really smooth. It doesn't have that kind of like, that pot still kind of,
Mhm.
that teeth. And it's still dry enough where it's not a sweet gin. You know, it just like mellows everything out. That's nice.
I was excited to try their slow gin, but it's seasonal.
Oh, what do
Yeah,
they,
they
what
do
kind,
a
do they
crow,
use?
crowberry slow gin style
Oh
gin.
man, oh
Yeah.
man. I'm curious about this crowberry fucking
Yeah.
thing.
So I think we should try a little bit, and then we should make a cocktail
Okay.
with crowberry and gin.
Okay. We could do that.
So yeah, let's just try a little bit.
I want a splash of crowberry.
So this is I haven't had this.
I want to look it up because I like. to
So
know things.
64 degrees Reykjavik Distillery. I saw their stuff everywhere out. Like it's a very popular. So this is a liqueur. This is only 27%, but I also have their aquavit or Brennivin, which is 43% alcohol. So we could try that a little later too.
All right. Impetrum nigrum. Jesus. Crowberry. Why don't you calm down? Native to the Falkland Islands. Okay. It's decidual. There's a bisexual tetraploid subspecies. Thanks, Wikipedia. Thanks for your help. Shit. Yeah. Cultivation, high in pigment. Oh, it's, it looks like a really dark blueberry.
It tastes like a.
They call it
It
blackberry.
tastes like fucking Mona V.
Does it really? No, it does not. Oh my god, it smells like it. My dad was into Mona V, so I'll definitely know if it does. Kinda. Yeah.
The acai berry.
The acai.
Acai.
Yeah. This is good.
Yeah.
It's light. It's it almost tastes like a blueberry,
Yeah.
but how do I explain this? The brightness of a blueberry is not there. Yeah. It almost tastes more like prune-ish. If it's like, that's right. If a blueberry and like prune
had a
baby, a plum and a blueberry, a dried plum and a blueberry had a baby and called it a crowberry. They're good, but they are like, I was looking at pictures of them. They're stark black. They look like black blueberries, and they're found in the Falkland Islands and Alaska. So
I'm throwing together a cocktail.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm going to do a little bit of
split the can.
a little bit of lemon lime seltzer, or is this just lime? Lime seltzer.
We're making cocktails, live cocktailing.
I think this is going to be good.
So all in all, would you go back? That's
absolutely. I didn't want to leave.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm like polish this.
Yeah. I would absolutely go back. I would change things up though.
Okay.
My favorite is let's go through with what I did.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll talk. Then we'll talk about how I would have done things differently. Not that I would have changed anything this trip, but how I would do things differently next time.
Yeah, like OJ, like his book.
Yeah.
Anyway,
how I would have done it. That's pretty good. Could be sweeter. Needs a sweetener.
Oh, see, I'm not big on sweet, so let's see.
Just for this type of cocktail. I probably put way too much gin in it.
That tastes like medicine. That yeah, I gotta take my Robitussin and go to bed. That's what it tastes like. I love this.
So
this is good.
So why don't we run through like what I did, and then I'll talk about the things that you should look out for if you go.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
And the things that I would have done differently if and when I go again.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, I wanted to go to take pictures of the Northern Lights. That was my main reason for going. That's why I wanted to go, for photography. Mission accomplished the fucking second day.
You sent me that photo of you and Amy.
It looks fake, right?
It looked like, I showed everybody, and I'm like, it looks like the pictures you took in school where they had the laser background.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. It looked like you were in front of a green screen or something.
Yeah.
It looked totally fucking fake.
Yep.
Like you were at Universal Studios.
Because it is kind of fake. The human eye can't see the Northern Lights like that.
Uh-huh.
It's just not how it looks. So all the pictures that you see are long exposures. They're usually about 2 to 6 seconds. So
you had to stand there and smile while this fucker took your... Okay.
No. Because it's painting. It's called painting with light, which you're familiar with from photography. So you just stand there. You stay as still as you can, right? He's taking a long exposure picture. Say it's 3 or 4 seconds, something like that. And then he's got his flashlight on his phone going. And then halfway through, he just does this. Like just waves the light over you. And that exposes you. And then you just have to stay still enough that the edges don't blur. So you don't have to, it's not like an old-timey photograph. It takes 5 seconds, but you're only being exposed for a couple of seconds of it. So that's how he does it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why it looked weird, because it has to look weird.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not possible for those two things.
Because just to give everybody an idea, it was Adam and Amy standing next to each other in front of blackness, like a black field. You can't see shit.
So I'll post it
behind you.
I'll post it to Instagram, but I'll just show it to the camera
and
so
the
people can see.
sky is lit up like Mountain Dew green, not Mountain Dew original, not Liberty Blue, Liberty Brew. Original Mountain Dew green, and it just looks like brush strokes against the sky. It's really kind of amazing.
Which camera are we at here?
There's yours. It's hard to see.
Let's see when it switches.
But you can kind of see that like little light burst. And is that the flash?
Yeah.
That kind of like halo around you of light?
Yep.
Yeah,
so we're going to be, the halo around us is us being slightly backlit by the Northern Lights.
Yeah.
And then he just, like I said, he just hit us with the flash on his phone for like a half a second. It's not a very scientific way to do it, but it works.
It looks so sick.
So, and then, mine...
on your professional
DSL. Well, he was shooting. I mean,
photographing device.
He was shooting on like a a pretty high-end Sony. So like this is not what it looks like in real life. They're heavily edited.
Yeah.
You have to, because it's such a small amount of light. But I think that's like the best one.
Yeah, that's a classic shot.
We'll wait for it to.
Which is like
wait for it
like
to switch again.
waves,
Yeah.
and then like waves.
But it's amazing.
What does it actually look like though?
It looks like a hazy, white greenish light. I'll show it to these guys.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and I can post them, or just go to Track 7 Studios on Instagram, or my page, which is Exit
So it doesn't have the brilliance of the photographs.
No, it's not possible. It's not possible to achieve that with your human eye. Wow, it just doesn't work that way.
That's so interesting.
So
and all it is light reflecting off of glaciers and shit.
No,
right?
no.
Or
It's magnetic activity.
See, I thought it was light reflecting.
No. It's all
North Pole.
no. It's solar wind.
Huh.
Yeah, refracting through the atmosphere, and it I'm gonna butcher it, so I'm gonna look it up, so I'm not giving out wrong information. But it is,
for me, everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna see the Northern Lights. I'm like, sure, but for you, it makes sense.
Yeah.
'Cause you're a photographer. It's got to do with light and the eye and imagery and everything.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense for me why you would want it.
Well,
like,
it's the same thing.
I was
Like
telling
people like
I'm
somebody.
like, oh, Adam's on his honeymoon. They're like, oh, where'd they go? I'm like, Iceland. And they were like, what? Why? And I'm like, Northern Lights. You must take photographs. And they're like, oh, like once they
Yeah.
figured out that you're a photographer. Then it was just like, oh, okay, I get it. But at first, it was just like, why? Why would you go there?
So the Northern Lights, it's caused by collisions between electrically charged particles released from the sun, the solar wind, that enter Earth's atmosphere and collide with gases such as oxygen and nitrogen. The lights are seen around the magnetic poles of the northern and southern hemispheres.
Oh, and it's only because of the magnetic poles.
It has to do with the magnetic poles of the Earth. So the Earth's bombarded with solar winds all the time. The only thing that keeps us from fucking frying like a microwave is our atmosphere and the magnetic poles that keep that radiation away from us. But it goes around to the poles, so it's attracted to the poles. So there's more radiation in the atmosphere at the poles. And that's what causes that. And it all has to do with particle ejections from the sun. So there's almost no way to predict it. All those times you're like, oh, you might see the Northern Lights in Poughkeepsie. No. It's just not going to fucking happen.
Huh.
So yeah, that was the main reason why I wanted to go there, was to see that. And we booked a tour, which I'm glad we did, going back into like what you should and shouldn't do. You should book a tour, and then if you want to see them again, just fucking put a pin where they took you and drive up there again.
Smart.
We didn't do that because we didn't really have to, but you want to book a tour that has a guarantee, so they'll take you out again if you don't see them.
Oh, okay.
But this guy, he knew what he was doing. He'd been doing it for years.
Sure.
And we're in this van, and we booked with a smaller van because they can go places that the big buses can't, and you're not with fucking 60 people. So our group would have been a maximum of, I think, 16 or something like that, but there were only 4.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he got to kind of do one-on-one. He let me borrow his tripod. It was great.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, and he was like, the only thing that's included in the tour is like a group photo, which you can share from Facebook. And I was like, well, I think Amy was like, is there any way you could just take a picture of the two of us? He's like, sure, for $10. Cool. Like, that's no problem, man. I haven't tipped anybody yet this week. So I gave him $10, and actually I only had a 20, so I just paid for the other couple to get their picture taken too.
Oh, look at you.
Well, the guy's not going to have $10 in American and change, so it was fine. So
everything costs $20 there.
Yeah, everything. So I should have exchanged that money to begin with, but so we did the tour. That was definitely the way to go. Go with a smaller tour, smaller group, smaller bus. And this guy, he was like looking out the windows as we were leaving Reykjavik, because you got to leave the city. It was maybe a 20-minute drive. And then all of a sudden, he just starts like driving like a fucking maniac, because he saw them off in the distance and they can disappear just like that.
Oh, really?
So he took us to one spot. It was like okay, and there were a lot of people there. So he was like, okay, this is fading. Let's go to another good spot. And we went there, and that's where I got that shot.
Yeah.
And if you look close, there's like a lake and stuff in there. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
awesome.
It looks like
yeah,
you can kind of pick out that you're near a lake.
Yeah.
I think. But
yeah. It was really really cool.
neat.
So we did that the first night. We went whale watching, which was fun, but it was more like a fun boat ride. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you're gonna see a whale like 300 yards away. We saw a lot of dolphins though, which was really cool. They were like swimming under the boat and stuff. Got some good pictures that I haven't edited yet.
When we were in Hawaii, we just drove to the north end of Hawaii and just stood at the edge of a park that was closed
Mm-hmm.
and looked through the fence at whales breaching right off the coast. I was just like, perfect. We saw whales. Let's go.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if I'd do another whale watching tour. It was cold. It was kind of long. But it was like it was cool to get out into the bay, see different sights, that kind of thing. But the weather held out for it. It was cold, but it didn't rain, so that was good. And we saw whales, so that was pretty neat. We saw minke whales, which is the ones that you can eat at a restaurant.
Oh, cool.
So we did that, and I think that was it for like the book tours stuff. And then we just drove. There's a thing called a Golden Circle. It's like this route that goes all the way around the northeastern kind of area, and it's got all the geysers and like dead volcanoes and stuff you can get pictures of. That's one. If you're ever gonna go, rent a fucking car. Just spend. It's like $600. It wasn't crazy.
Same side as here.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like England and Ireland are like the only
Yeah.
fucking places that do that left side shit.
Well, the reason that it's right side is because of American GIs. Like back in the 40s, there were like probably one car for every 200
Oh
residents.
no, in Germany,
Yeah.
they're on the right
Yeah,
side.
well, I'm saying in Iceland, the reason that it is the right side and not the left side is because it's of Americans.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and actually Norwegians too. They're probably driving on the right side of the road too. But in any case, yeah,
It's funny. Like
on the right
everywhere,
side of the road.
everywhere we went in Europe,
Mhm.
it's just like you don't need a car.
Yeah.
At all. Even in Bad Kissingen, it's a small spa town. It's all walkable. And
Yeah.
even if you didn't feel like walking, there's cabs everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you're in major cities, the transit system is amazing.
Yeah.
Is there a transit system?
There's buses. There's taxis. They don't have Uber, but they have like an app that is kind of the same thing. But it works with the taxis.
It just has different like symbols above the U's.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah, and it's all in Chronos. But we didn't even need to do that because
It's in fucking runes.
yeah.
Uber and runes. What is, you sent me that link to figure out names and like the runic the
I'll
runic
write it
alphabet.
down. I wonder if you could make it a title.
But I actually looked into that. It was kind of cool because you sent me a link for background. Everybody, Jesus Christ, this Navy strength, woohoo!
Here,
Adam
I'm
sent me
gonna
a-
write Uber in fucking runes.
Adam sent me a link to this website that is probably fucking you, but maybe not. If you want to see your name in Norse runes, and I actually looked it up. The one that you used is like the oldest alphabet that they have.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of it. The one I ended up looking up was in Long Branch, which is Danish, which is what apparently my family is from. So it's
That's
like
Uber.
It almost looks like an NBMR.
Yeah.
Lowercase n, capital B, capital M, capital R. Okay.
I wonder if you could put that as a title of the show. Probably not.
I'll try. I'll
Yeah.
definitely try.
But
Yeah, the Long Branch, I actually spelled it out, and it's kind of, this is fucking really geeky, but when we're done with our campaign in D&D, I'm going to get a tattoo of the class I played, and I'm going to get his name in Long Branch, because like the whole character is based off of Long Branch, off of Danish culture
that's
and
Long
stuff like
Branch for Uber.
that. Oh, okay.
This website, vikingrune.com.
Yeah.
It has.
But they might be fucking with you, but I like what you're writing down here is the same. Like like
this. I mean, this is the one that I guess everybody uses. So there's Elder, Futhark, Anglo-Saxon. What's that look like?
Anglo-Saxon's fun. That's a weird one.
It looks just like this.
Yep.
And then there's Short Twig.
So there's Long Branch and Short Twig. Long Branch was before Short Twig.
The Short Twig is the one everybody gets tattoos of.
Mm-hmm. Short Twig is the most recent Danish. So it was,
and then Staveless.
And it's all through the years. And the website's cool because it tells you.
This is Staveless.
Yeah, they got all crazy. Yeah, fuck that shit. How the fuck are you supposed to read that? One little twist of the wrist and it's a different letter.
Yeah.
If you sneeze while you're writing, you write a different word.
Yeah, I mean, I think the short.
It goes from dear mom to hey cocksucker. Instantly.
Yeah, so we were gonna get tattoos, but as it turns out, we were gonna go Sunday, and all the tattoo parlors are closed.
God damn!
Yeah. So
they really observe the Sabbath there, don't they?
It's all just very conservative. So this is my name in Short Twig.
God, what is this? Cool.
Yeah,
it's really like boring.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I put in my character's name, and it was just like, oh, it's a bunch of sticks. It looks like
I was telling Amy,
twigs.
I was like, can we not get something that's like super cliche? Like, I don't mind getting runes tattooed, but I want it to say something that either means something or something that's funny. So I typed in farts, and it kind of looks like farts.
It does. That's the scary thing. Like a lot of the letters are the same.
But I think I did it in Elder Futhark.
Yeah. You did.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I posted it. Yeah, it looks like a Y and then FRTS. So what else? Oh, then we did like a full museum day, like the first day it rained. And that was good.
What's Icelandic art like?
There's a lot of garbage art. There's like one of those galleries that looks like the fucking place in Newburgh. What the hell's the name? Not
you
Newburgh.
Mean Beacon? MoMA?
Yeah, MoMA. Yeah. I sent Joe some Snapchats. It was like...
No, I'm sorry, not MoMA. Dia,
yeah. MoMA's in the city. Anyway, yeah, there was some like modern art garbage that I saw that's just like a waste of real estate. Like a storefront that they're paying like $4,000 a month probably to be displaying 7 things that look like dog shit. There was a lot of that. But we went to like the official like history museum of Iceland. And that was good, but a little bit more on the boring side. There was some cool fucking... I'm only interested in like the Viking shit. Like I don't care about fucking the conversion to Christianity and then fucking sailing for the next 200 fucking years. I just don't care about that. But
I don't give a shit about when you lost your way.
Yeah.
Before you lost your way.
This is a Viking. He's buried with his sword and some stuff. He was also buried with his horse.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah. And then I got another one.
He must have been a swinging dick.
So this was a Viking woman.
Wow.
Very intact.
God damn.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? So that part was really cool.
It's a full skeleton. That's crazy.
And then, like, this is what their house would look like. Yeah.
Looks kind of like it looks like my bedroom, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I live in a cape. So, and this is...
just the top floor.
It's a long house, but it's a cape. Ah, that's funny.
Yeah.
If you just move the bed to the center of the room, or to the center, like if you turned it 180 degrees or 90 degrees and put it in the center of the room, that's the room.
Well, the beds are actually built into the structure of the building.
Yeah, I see that.
So they're like bunks, and then they have like a little hole that you get in and out of, and you have this thing called a bed board that you put there when you're sleeping to keep your bedding from like falling out because you slept in a fucking pile of furs. And then that was also your table when you'd eat.
So you just put a board on top
Yeah,
of it?
but they were like really intricately.
So they were Netflix and chilling before Netflix and chilling was a thing.
No.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're laying in bed. No, it doesn't make sense at all. I tried.
Here, let me.
So you sleep, you wake up, you put a board over your bed, and then you eat. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean they fucking.
It's more like my 600-pound life or whatever. We're just eating in bed.
Here, look. Can you pull me up over here? So they were really intricately wood carved. Like this was a very important thing to them. So this would be the design in it.
Holy shit.
So ignore this shit. That's like new stuff.
Uh-huh.
But that's what they would look like. And you'd slide that
incredibly
into the little,
intricately carved, like, and I'm not talking like, a dragon. It's a dragon interwoven with other dragons. Holy shit.
So
man.
that
That's
thing
wild.
you'd spend years making it, and it would slide into that slot, and it would hold your bedding in because you basically slept in straw and fur, stuff like that, and that would keep all your bedding in. And then you'd pull it out, and you'd put it to the headboard when you'd just be sitting in that little opening, and then you'd also use that as your table across your lap when you were eating. Yeah, and they'd be passed down for like
sick.
generations. But of course, like Google's not giving me anything. Just like inspiration stuff, like shit you can buy now.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so the museums were pretty cool. What the fuck else did we do?
You went to the Game of Thrones thing.
Oh yeah, we went to that black sand beach. I forgot your rocks. I got rocks for you.
I always wanted to go to a black sand beach. They fucked up our flights from Kauai over to the Big Island.
Yeah.
We were going to go to the black sand beaches and take a look at the volcanoes, and they fucked it up, so we got tattoos anyway. So it worked out nicely.
Yeah.
And a reason to go back. But yeah, black sand it's just very, I don't know, something about
crazy.
it where it's just like, it's very intriguing to me because, I grew up, my family vacationed in like North Carolina, Cape Cod, all that stuff like that.
Where you get chicken fingers on the beach, I remember.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the fucking best. And then it's all white sand. And we went to Hawaii, and Poipu, where we were, was orange.
Yeah.
Like fucking
old.
navel orange. Like
It's
you get in the
all old
grocery
coral,
store.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And the sand it's weird. It's got a strange texture. It's very coarse. So the black sand is really just interesting to me, and
Yeah, this
I wanted
was
to see it.
It was like
You got good photos of that
Yes,
cave.
yeah.
I was like, holy
it's
shit!
not
that's-
actually a cave.
It's not.
Nope, that was green screened.
God damn.
Yeah. It's just kind of like a little recess.
Really?
Yeah, it goes in maybe 20 feet.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was like fucking Dragonstone or whatever the hell.
Yeah, but unfortunately we were there. It was high tide, so we couldn't go around. You know how they had like those,
Yeah.
like it's not this, but like basalt pillars that they have in the Middle East.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like that, except it's volcanic,
Mhm.
and they're like those hexagonal shapes.
Mhm.
You can go to that, but it was high tide. We just we would have gotten soaked if we
What a
tried.
cool-
But yeah, the sand, it's like it's just like a beach, like normal beach, except for it's black. And then right up to where the tide goes to, it turns into fine pebbles and then just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, it's
cool.
really fucking cool.
Amy actually emailed me, said to remind Adam to talk about the conversation we overheard between mother and son
Oh,
about
God.
why the kid couldn't go near the water at the black sand
So
beach.
the more I talked about this, the more ridiculous the woman's accent becomes.
Of course.
So the kid's like, "Can we go by the ocean?" And this woman's like, "No, it sort of became the guy from fucking Wayne's World 2 with the fucking Bengal tiger. He's like,
Great
"I had
big,
to
Del
beat
Preston.
them to death with their own shoes."
Yeah, do it.
But she goes, "No, we can't go by the water because the waves are too big and they'll suck you in and you'll die." That's what she said to a little kid.
How old is the kid?
4, 5.
See, I was told that by my grandparents when I was like 11, 12, something like that. When I was visiting them, my grandfather was just like, "You gotta be careful, the undertow." Like, what about the undertow? He's just like, "It'll suck you out, and it'll never come back." Like, cool, Pop. Thanks. What do you mean? He's just like, "Let's go in." Like, he actually showed me. And he stood there, and he's just like, "Feel that pull?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Sometimes it can get so strong, it'll just take you out." And like, and then what? And then he just shook his head.
And then you'll die.
And then that's it.
But yeah, she's
And then
just
you'll
like,
die.
they'll suck you in, and then you'll die.
Very matter of fact. Oh, and by the way, you'll die.
But then I kept expanding on it. It's just like, just like your whole mother. No, it was like, mother. Your whole mother. Because this was obviously the kid's grandparents. She was like 70 probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but she was like this portly, like, imagine a British lady drinking tea and eating fucking scrumpets. And then you'll die.
Ay.
That was a Dumb and Dumber reference. I know it's crumpets, not scrumpets.
Tea and scrumpets. No. I was well aware. Amy also mentioned, she said, also about Asians and how Europeans can't pick this side of the fucking sidewalk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you're in a place that's like... So the jury's still out on whether or not Asians use soap. Yeah. But it is a well-known fact.
Jesus.
It is a well-known fact that they have zero, like absolute zero awareness of personal space.
It's not that they don't have awareness. They have a different sense of it. As in, like...
No. It's that, well, I'm going this way, so I'm going to keep going this way.
Yeah.
You know how many people I fucking shoulder checked just because they wouldn't move? There was this girl, like, Amy had to walk, like, in the mud because these, like, 2 or 3 girls were just 3 abreast on a tiny little fucking sidewalk, and they just wouldn't move. So I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't knock into her. I just didn't move. And she walked into me. And it was hilarious. But
So wait, now...
So this was just some, like, shitty girl. But so as far as the Asian folks, they're very self-absorbed in what they're doing.
Yes, they don't give a fuck
They
about
do
you.
not give a shit about what you're doing. If you were walking and you would normally have the right of way, they just walk into you. They'll push you out of the way.
It's
They have no
really
fucking
strange.
problem doing it.
And it sounds bad, but listen, we've had people from China stay here.
Yeah.
And I would say it's not so much Asians. I wouldn't say like Japanese or whatever. It's mostly like Chinese.
Yeah.
Japanese too, I guess, to an extent. I mean, like when we were in Pearl Harbor, it was very like, that's how it was. Just there was Japanese people fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And it was almost a little like, you're like, damn, this is kind of like...
If you went to Japan, wouldn't you go to Hiroshima?
No. Well...
I absolutely would.
I probably... as an American, you probably should. If you ever find yourself in Japan, you should probably go to Hiroshima just to be like, look what you did. But...
Just you got your kid with you. Look at this shit, son.
Look at this shit. We did this. This is our fucking fault. But yeah, all right, I get that part.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh, what are all these Asians doing here? It was just staggering. Like, damn,
there's a lot of fucking Asians here.
Like,
no,
man,
it wasn't
you
even
guys,
that. It was
you
just
guys are doing you guys are doing it right. You're paying tribute. I appreciate it. Thanks.
It's just like I had always heard that. I just never really experienced it.
It was
have you seen the videos
staggering.
of like people in the subways and like they're like subway cops with white gloves that will seriously grab both doors, put a foot in the small of your back, and shove you into the train to get as many fucking people in there as possible.
And hey, man, like they don't have a sense of personal boundary that we do.
Yeah.
And it's the same. Like you can say the same thing in a different light about the French. They don't have the same openness we Americans do. So that's why they come off as dickish, is because they're not interested in like being like loud, and they're not interested in being like incredibly friendly. It's not that they're dicks, it's just that's their culture, and that's how they grow up. And that's the same thing with, you know, Asians. They're tight-knit, their families are big, there's a shitload of people around, and you just got to get by. And it's just organized chaos in their countries. We're not used to that.
It's just the
we're more dramatic in like efficiency.
But like Americans have this like pretty universal me like mentality that people perceive us having. But we seriously saw like 2 Land Cruisers. Obviously, everyone's together, and they just stop in the middle of the road. Just stop, and they'll look. They'll go, "Do you want to go? Did you want to go there?"
Jesus.
Like
Christ.
I was like, if this motherfucker's going to get out and discuss with the person behind him right now, I'm fucking mowing them down. But it just like, you know, the speed limit's fucking 90 kilometers an hour, and they just stop. Just pull over on a fucking shoulder that's this big.
Yeah.
And just stop. And the whole fucking family gets out, and they're snapping pictures on the side of a fucking highway. It's like, you couldn't have looked for a place to pull off that would have been safe and convenient for everyone. That's the shit we were dealing with.
That's tourism, though.
Yeah.
Because you get like, and there's the other thing where like, I'm not just shitting on it. Like we went to the Louvre in Paris. We're surrounded by shit way older than us. Architecture way older than us. Like there's a sense of fucking shit.
Yeah.
This is, you know.
Just when you were freaking out on edibles too.
No, that was in Amsterdam. That was a different fucking story. But like you're about to go into the Louvre, and you're standing out there, and there's still sculptures outside of it, and then there's this guy wearing a T-shirt that's just a slight bit too short, and like shorts and like sandals, and his family are all just in sweatpants and stuff. It's just like, guys, I know we're just going out, checking out museums and stuff like that, but you're about to step into another fucking world that you'll never understand. You'll never know the truth of, the whole truth of. Can you just like put on a pair of jeans just for the kid? Can you do me a solid? Like, it just, you know,
I did feel kind of funny
when all these different cultures clash. It's interesting what we believe as like acceptable and polite as to what's not.
I did feel like it was very funny as we're like walking the streets of Reykjavik, and it's 50 degrees out, so at 9 degrees centigrade, something like that.
God damn it. America's
So
gotta
it's
be
like-
so
it's like-
fucking weird. We
it's
have to have
50
our own shit, don't we?
It's 50 degrees out.
God damn it.
And I'm walking around in a T-shirt, and everybody else has got fucking wool hats and their fucking North Face jacket on, and I'm just seriously like, I have my like whatever coat, and I'm just carrying it. Amy's wearing mittens and a wool hat, and she's like, she's like, are you really warm right now? I'm like, yeah, this is great.
Oh yeah. I'm doing my best to try and acclimate to the cold weather. Like I'm trying to.
I'm wearing shorts right now. I walked here.
Yeah, I'm trying to do better with the cold. But I saw someone come into the coffee shop the other day. It was like, you know, this weekend, and it was 65, chilly, but not really. Like I took my coat with me, and I walked from the door to my house to my car. I took my coat off. And I unzipped my sweater or my sweatshirt. I was like, all right, it's way too hot for this.
Coat and a sweatshirt at 60 degrees?
It was, 60 on the dot.
It
was too much.
Yeah.
I took it off. I threw it in the car. I was like, this is way too much. I got into people were coming in with like coats and like fucking beanies on. And I said to this one girl, I was just like, all right, where are you from? Because this is a bit, I like gestured with my hand. This is a bit extreme. She's like, oh, I'm from Arizona. I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. But you need to, like, come on.
Take the hat off to let your body fucking try and compensate.
It gets 50 degrees. It gets 30 degrees in the desert. It's down there. Like you should know this weather. It's
Yeah.
not crazy.
I just think about like the Vikings.
Holy shit!
He's just like, you want to sail 2,000 miles and get some grapes?
Yeah.
It's only going to take a month.
They didn't even have Gore-Tex back then.
No.
How did they survive?
Just fucking seal skins and fucking
All right.
hides.
I want one more before
did you want to try this fucking
put a cork in this fucker.
this
Yeah, I
fucking
want to
birch
talk
schnapps?
Yeah, let's cap it off with the one thing that Iceland has is birch trees.
Yeah. Just gonna do. Is there any of the seltzer left? Yeah.
So this is Berkir by Foss Distillery, and it's Icelandic snaps.
Snaps.
Schnapps. They spell schnapps SNAPS instead of SCHNAPPS.
I didn't even bother asking
my
if you
peep.
wanted this. This is a cucumber gin.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's delicious.
There you go. I'm gonna like this
Yeah.
just by smelling.
Oh,
it.
I saw the. Oh, and by the way, we got a couple things we got to do before we leave.
Oh God.
No, just like finish up my recap. What I wouldn't do. Blah blah blah. But our flight was 3 hours late today, so they gave us food vouchers, and I also figured out that you could spend the food vouchers on booze.
Oh no.
So I got that and a couple other things with that.
This is delicious. I love this. It's a
Not for me, definitely for you.
It's very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a very incredibly unique flavor, almost along the lines of root beer, like birch beer.
Well,
If
that's
if
all
you know birch beer, you know this. It comes with a little twig of birch in there, which is
They had another one that I noticed like way after, that had like Icelandic moss in it. Yeah, but they only had big
They
bottles.
love that moss up there.
Yeah.
They use it on a lot of shit. They use it for a lot of different things.
It's got a great smell to it.
It smells good. Like it's almost got a cola.
Have you ever had birch syrup?
Yeah.
Yeah, like maple syrup just with birch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, it's almost this is good. I like this. I could use this in a lot of different shit.
You might be able to get that online.
Honestly, this would go good as a sweetener for like an old fashioned.
Mm-hmm.
God damn. I'm burping like crazy. Yeah, you can use this almost like in place of vermouth, I would say.
Probably, yeah.
And it would come out really nice. It almost tastes like a 4
So
or 5
more
wine.
like a Manhattan.
Yeah, like a
old-fashioned,
Manhattan. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah, Manhattan instead. This is
Some
good.
nice
I like this a lot.
American bourbon. All right, since we
that's
kind of, I
delicious.
think we're kind of done trying stuff because we have a couple more of these Brennivans, but I don't think we really need to get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's kind of
It's probably just different varying.
yeah. I'm sure they're all made. With
You
the
don't
same
like
shit.
this, right?
No, I liked it, but I got it for you. So
Oh,
yeah.
thank you.
Um,
You're a sweetie.
So, if you're traveling to Iceland, a couple things that you really need to remember. Don't pack as warm as you'd think. Pack waterproof. Waterproof is the big thing.
Okay.
More important than warm shit, because you can buy wool shit there if you have to. Because when it rains and it's 50 fucking degrees and then it gets windy, if you got wet, you're fucked. So you could also contact Knitting is Metal and have her make you a hat.
I saw that.
She'll probably
Good for
charge
you.
you for it, but I have to thank her very much because that hat was really helpful. I found that the best thing is to wear a baseball cap, a synthetic baseball cap. So I had my the green one that Adam bought me from the brewing company.
Hudson Valley
Hudson Valley Brewing Company.
Valley Ale Works.
Sure, Hudson Ale Works.
Hudson.
One of those. So I was wearing that, and then I put the wool hat over it. So that the hat kind of blocked the wind from going through, and it just kept all the heat in. It was great. So great wool hat from her. You can also get great wool stuff out there. It's not crazy expensive. Their biggest export is wool because of all the sheeps.
How much was the wool hat?
Just the hat. She just made me the hat. She didn't charge me for it.
Really?
Yeah. I tried to give her money for it. She said no.
Tony, if you're listening to this, I should just contact her and be like, hey,
Yeah.
make me a wool hat.
She's supposed to knit you a dick hat.
See, the thing is, like, I don't want a hat. I want a scarf because I don't wear hats in the winter
She'd
because of
probably
my
be
hair.
much more apt to make you a scarf than a hat.
Oh, okay.
It's much easier.
Yeah. I just don't wear hats
Yeah.
because I have to put pomade in my hair, and if I wear a wool cap, it's over.
Well, that's
The
why
kid
you're,
don't
that's why
look
you're
like the
cold all
kid.
the time.
Mm-hmm. I like to keep my neck warm.
Yeah.
But the rest of my head has to
All right.
suffer.
So, I mean, definitely, unless you're going to really invest in some shit, get like a good outer shell.
Talk to Rob Bosch
don't
about
wear
cold
a fucking
weather.
don't wear a fucking Carhartt, shit like that. Like, cuz you get wet, you're fucked. Definitely bring gloves. I wish I brought my Shemig, but I forgot. Amy did too. We stayed in Reykjavik. I would definitely recommend the first time you go staying in Reykjavik. Rent a car though. At least for a few days, rent a car because it'd be a pain in the ass. It's a 45-minute drive to the airport.
How big?
So to take a bus, that'd be a fucking nightmare.
Oh God, yeah. How big is Reykjavik?
City proper, I would say a little bit bigger than Poughkeepsie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a huge
No.
city.
No. We were actually just outside Reykjavik, and it's a mile walk into the center of Reykjavik.
Oh.
Yeah. So half mile and you're out of Reykjavik and in a slightly different town.
Oh wow. Okay.
So we flew into Keflavik, which is where the airport is, which is where everyone flies into. But you could take a bus, you could take a cab. But in the scheme of things, like if you're going to wind up paying for all these tours and seeing all this shit, you pay for the fucking Golden Circle tour. It's going to cost you $150 a person.
Yeah.
And then you're married to their schedule. You got to be there at 8 a.m. You got to be with 150 fucking people. There's a chance that you're going to get left behind.
This is what we did when we went to Europe. We walked.
Yeah.
We just walked around. Some cities aren't like that.
Yeah. Well, you can't do that in Iceland. You can't. If you want to stay in Reykjavik the whole time, you're going to do everything that's to be done in 2 days.
Yeah.
But you really need, I probably drove 700 miles this week. You know, just the Black Sand Beach was a 300-mile round trip. So maybe 300 kilometers. I don't remember. It was
big difference.
It was a solid 5 hours of driving.
Well,
but it was worth it. It was great. We saw some stuff on the way there. We saw some stuff on the way back. The Golden Circle tour was cool. Mm-hmm. Buy a map. We didn't buy a map. We were relying on Google, and it was a problem. It was not good. So just buy a map. There's not many roads. So
that's like it's sounding to me like the cold version of Kauai, because like if you got a map of Kauai, you're good.
Yeah.
You don't need Google. You don't need any of that shit. But when we went, we didn't like that stuff was still kind of.
So you know, I would say do book everything beforehand. It's going to be cheaper than if you do it there. We booked our couple tours. Have a backup plan for when it rains because it's going to rain half the time you're going to be there, most likely. Mm-hmm. If you want to go for Northern Lights, you got to go end of September, early October.
And it's going to be chilly.
Yeah, it could be.
And rainy.
Especially at night. If you're going to book those tours, book them at the beginning because they all have guarantees. So if you don't see the Northern Lights, you can book another night. So book those for the beginning of your trip. And you're also kind of figuring shit out, so it's kind of good to have like those set things while you're kind of acclimatizing to the place. Mm-hmm. And they're also the Northern Lights tours at night, so the time difference doesn't fuck you up as much because they're 4 hours ahead of us. So 12 o'clock at night is like 8 o'clock to you until you fix your jet lag shit. Mm-hmm. So next time, I would like to go again. But next time, I'm going to do either a camper van or a 4-wheel drive so we can do more because there are roads you cannot drive on in a 2-wheel drive car. It's illegal.
Wow.
Not legal at all. They're called F roads. They're closed in the winter. You need to have a 4-wheel drive, all that stuff. But you can rent a fucking Land Cruiser. Mm-hmm. It's not that much more expensive. It would have been another $400, which doesn't sound like it's not expensive, but the amount of shit.
Nice save there.
It doesn't sound like it doesn't sound affordable, but in the scheme of things, the amount of shit that we could have gone to glaciers without paying.
Okay.
So, but it's a lot of driving. So plan on driving. Also, everything's a standard transmission.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, so you really need
Fun.
if you need an automatic.
That would have been fine for me.
If you need an automatic, you
If
need
I got
to
Brooke
make
with me, she's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah. If you need an
fine
automatic,
with
you got to make sure, and they charge extra. They're harder
Sure
to
they
get. You got to book them out earlier because they just don't have them
shit.
there.
I like
Mm-hmm.
I don't like driving manual because I get lost in thought and forget to shift.
Yeah,
But,
you blow an engine.
Huh?
You blow the engine.
Oh God! Like there's times where I've come to like a complete stop, and all of a sudden the car just goes. And I go, "What the fuck?" Oh yeah, I'm driving Brooke's car.
Yeah. So I think next time I would either do there's a couple of options. Like I think the best thing to do for me for next time would be to stay the first 2 days and the last 2 days in Reykjavik.
Mm-hmm.
Or stay the first 2 days in Reykjavik and the last 2 days in Keflavik, which is right by the airport. So turn the car in 2 days early.
Yeah.
Check out that town, and then just grab a taxi to the airport. Just because that would save $150. And if we did, we met a couple of the ones that we went to the Northern Lights thing, and they were doing a camper van. It's got heat, all of that. It's just like a little camper. And they were just kind of driving around and winging it and staying.
Oh shit, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, staying at campgrounds and stuff. And that would break up the driving a lot. So
That's kind of cool.
I would like to do that. And now that I've already seen the Northern Lights, I think I would go in the summer. The trouble is in the summer, if you go in June, it's 23 and a half hours of daylight.
How neat.
Yeah.
That's a fuck you up.
Yeah.
Screw jet lag. Imagine
Yeah.
like midnight
Yeah.
and it's fucking noon.
Yeah. So I would like to do the glaciers next time. It's just I was worried about my knee, rightfully so. So
Yeah, we were coming down to do the show.
oh I can't.
I was like, what happened?
I can't bend my knee going downstairs right now. It's arthritis. It fucking sucks. It's from having Lyme disease.
Hey man,
So
you get old, that shit happens.
Yeah, but if I lost weight, it wouldn't be that bad. So it's my fault.
The old saying is, like the old saying goes, that's what old people do. They fall asleep.
Okay. So yeah, my knee was trashed by Thursday. Just all that walking and stuff.
Oh
But I
man,
mean, if
like
you-
that's the thing. What I say to people, it's a walking city or whatever the hell. It's oh god, that faded out. What it's a walking city. Like we walked around Europe. Blah 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 blah. My feet, my ankles, my knees were obliterated by the end of the trip.
Yeah, because you're still walking fucking 10 miles a day.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
walked all over the goddamn place. We took rides when we were like, this is pretty far away. Let's jump on public transit and, but yeah, walking a city and
Yeah,
sightseeing
it's a lot.
that way, it's a motherfucker. So if you can't
Yeah.
do it, it's tricky, but
But yeah, I mean, definitely, if you're a photographer, it's definitely a place to go. If you want to see Northern Lights, don't fucking plan on being able to get a picture with your fucking cell phone. It's just not going to happen. Just go out, spend $300 and buy a halfway decent camera on fucking Craigslist.
and then return it.
Yeah, no, just go on YouTube, learn how to use it. That's all. You could take those pictures that I took with a $200 camera.
I'm trying to convince Brooke to go to Scandinavia,
Mm-hmm.
and, specifically Copenhagen.
Mm-hmm.
But she's unconvinced. So,
What is there to do there?
huh?
I don't know anything about Scandinavia.
I don't either. It's it's Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Finland.
Just go,
like you
go
just-
there, get some free dental work and
Yeah.
some surgery.
I just want to go because I found out that I've said it before. I found out that way down the line, my family's is from Denmark.
Mhm.
So cool. I was excited. I have a little touch of Viking blood.
Yeah.
Ryan Bosch is far from a
Yeah,
Viking,
very far removed.
but it's still. I'm like, oh, cool. I want to see it. I'm curious. I like the mythology and the lore of the Vikings and the Norse people. So I'm curious. Brooke, not so
Yeah.
much.
Oh, we did mail you a postcard, but it took us 4 days to find a post office box, so you'll probably get it tomorrow. Yeah.
We were so terrified when we were away that our shit was getting to where it needed to go.
Yeah.
Because it's just like DHL, you hand them your shit, and you're like,
Yeah.
they're like, all right, we're flying this crap.
Godspeed.
Yeah, we're flying this crap across the ocean.
We didn't talk about the Phallological Museum at all, just that I went there.
I mean, a little bit.
Yeah. But if you want to go look at whale penises.
The one, what was that, 1/3 of a whale's penis?
Yeah, it was,
as
7
tall as-
7 feet tall, and it was only 1/3 of a sperm whale penis. Yeah.
Still not big enough by most guys' standards.
Crazy. Yeah, they have one human penis in there, and there's 3 or 4 more coming when the people die.
Wait, stop. Say that one more time.
They have a male. They have one male a human penis there. It's from a 95-year-old dude. It does not look good.
I'm sure it doesn't. At 95?
Yeah.
You're lucky it's still there.
But there's 2
Just
or
for
3 other
show at
guys
that
that
point.
have bequeathed their penises to the penis museum when they die. There's one guy who wants to cut it off before he dies so you can go see it.
I mean, I feel like I want to donate my penis to science, or to a museum now. After knowing that, but I'm gonna have to donate it past 65. I don't think I'm gonna donate it anymore because it's a bad showing after that.
You'd be like, do I cut my losses now or? Yeah, there's one guy.
If I die around in my 50s, yeah, definitely send my penis over there because they need to step up their game at the Phallological Museum.
It did not look
Can't
good.
have just one 95-year-old penis sitting there. Jesus.
Yeah.
It's not an accurate representation of.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was a very weird place to be. Because the whole thing started off as like a joke. Like somebody bought him like a penis, like some sort of like a joke gift like that.
Yeah.
And then all of his coworkers started buying him shit like that. And then he knew people that worked at the whaling station, and they started fucking drying out penises.
Oh
and
my
mounting
God!
them.
This is the Icelandic Ryan Bosch.
Yeah, they
people just keep giving him dicks, and he doesn't know why.
And then so they started taking these penises and drying them out and mounting them like fucking like a buck on the wall. And then his wife told him that he couldn't keep them in the house anymore, so he started a museum.
This guy was just trolled.
Yeah, he's like a really old dude too. He does the audio tour. And now his son runs the place. They make a fucking killing too.
I'm sure they do.
It's $15 to get in.
Just to look at dicks.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Really look at dicks.
Yeah.
Not just a joke that we say around here in Poughkeepsie when we want to go to a sporting goods store, but actual dicks. Godspeed to that
so check
family.
out the Phallological Museum.
I mean, see, if your family was coal miners, there's a solid chance that somebody's going to be like, I don't want to be a fucking coal miner.
Yeah.
But do I want to run the dick museum? It's not that bad.
No, and you don't have to do anything once it's set up.
Yeah, you're just
have to
hanging
keep-
out.
You just have to keep the MP3 players charged and take money. Amy bought dick pasta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not even made in Iceland. It's like Canada or some
I don't
shit.
think this is. This is probably made in fucking Taiwan. Doesn't say.
Check under the balls.
I did. It looks hand carved though. So there's that.
What do we do? I mean, check under the balls is definitely a title for the show.
Mike wants to use the jury is out if Asians use soap, but we're not going to do that.
That's a good one, though. But apparently the jury is out. I mean, I would say the same for the Parisians and the Italians. Just saying. I can only tell you. I can only report what I've seen and smelled, and that is the subway in a hot day in Paris smells like onion soup. Right.
Well, I don't have any titles besides
the Icelandic
Uber.
version of Uber.
Yeah.
I also have halftime for the first time every time.
I don't remember you saying that.
Yeah, it was, you were saying about cans of beer. I said it's like going to halftime for the first time every time.
Ah, yes.
I like the Uber thing. Just I want to see if I can
you put
make
runes in?
I'm gonna try. If I can't, I'm just gonna do it in regular. It's just gonna be a lowercase m and then or n and then a capital B, capital M, capital R.
Yeah.
And it'll work out fine. All our
What else do you
Scandinavian
have?
brethren will know. That's all I got.
Let me
I mean, there's something about penises in there somewhere that I'm sure I said. The Ryan, the Icelandic Ryan Bosch.
You can do all the like the umlauts and things, but you can't do runes. Not in YouTube anyway.
Wow. YouTube's racist. That's what that is.
Let me see if. Oh, I cleared it out. Forget it.
Well, in any case,
You might be able to copy and paste it from another site.
I'll
Try it. Just use your judgment.
Try it out.
I'm fine with Icelandic Recap.
Next week?
Can't think of anything. No, nobody yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been. I've been in Iceland.
When's Magnus supposed to be? Magnus?
I think he said next month, but I'm gonna touch base with him, and I'm gonna kind of build our schedule around that if he's still willing to come on.
I would.
Being that he checked out the show, probably.
I really hope he does.
Yeah.
I definitely want to talk to him about Icelandic culture, modern Icelandic culture.
Yeah.
And his booze.
Yeah. The funniest thing was he's like, now you have to check out Icelandic nightlife. And in Amy and I's head, we're like, like we let him tell us about it, but I was like, we're not doing that, right? Because it's like, okay, so the party really gets going around 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm like,
That's what he said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Fast
like
asleep.
if you just like just Google Iceland nightlife, all like TripAdvisor tells you like, just so you know, if you show up after 1, you're gonna wait in line for approximately 2 hours. So you might want to show up around 12 and just wait for the party to start.
Holy shit! So they party hard?
Hard until the sun comes up. Yeah.
Interesting.
And he's telling us, he's like, so there's this place. It's a coffee shop. It used to be a house, but now it's a coffee shop. But then after 11 p.m., it becomes a nightclub. And he's like, and there'll be like hundreds of people there. And he's like, it goes on until 4, 5, 6 in the morning. And I'm like, I'm not fucking
Holy
doing that.
shit! And like when I hear nightlife, I just a bunch of people standing around in their Sunday best with a shitload of music, low lighting, and
not drinking because you can't afford it.
Not drinking because you can't afford it. Jesus, they
I was
must
like,
be
if I'm gonna
fucking the shit out of each other.
I was
up
like,
there.
if I'm going to stay out until 4 o'clock in the morning in Iceland, and if I kept it to 2 drinks an hour, that's going to be a $400 night. No, not doing that. Just not. I would much rather do what we did, which was go out. It seems like everything's kind of late night there. Like we'd be walking home, and that's when all the restaurants were filling up, like 10 o'clock, 10:30.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just like that's the culture there.
So they go to work, they go home, they take a nap, they eat dinner,
Probably.
and they go out.
Yeah, I think so.
Jesus.
So yeah,
They're
so we
fucking
would
animals.
go
I love
out to
it.
places. We would eat. It was great for us because there's nobody fucking there. So we eat dinner, go home. We would, be at the Airbnb by 11:30 at the latest. Throw on some fucking Netflix, have a few cheaper beers. I mean, there were a bunch of nights I stayed up till 4, just because that's only midnight for me, for my clock.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have been a problem for us to go out. I just don't want to listen to that music or dance or I don't want to do any of that.
I'd listen to Icelandic music.
We just listened to the 80s station the whole time. It was great. It's all American music. They played You Can Call Me Out like 5 times. All right, let's go.
So next week we'll figure it out. And
Yeah, I'll probably have something. I've got a few things in the works. I haven't been able to commit to scheduling. So I'll reach out to Magnus and see what his schedule's looking like, and then we'll figure it out. I've got a couple of ideas.
All right.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah.
How do you say See you next week in Icelandic.
No idea.
Sleflika.
I know how to say hello from Iceland. That's it. And I kind of forgot it. It's I have to look at my Instagram. I don't remember. It's like Allo für Islandi. Something like that.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Sounds right. Let's go with it.
Sure.
Hallo für Islandi.
But we're not in Iceland.
Hallo für America.